In 1995, a 24-year-old immigrant arrived in America with $2,000 in his pocket, without a job and without a plan. He had already failed once. His visa had been rejected. His family thought he was crazy. And yet, 20 years later, that same man would be worth over $1 trillion and be on the verge of sending humans to Mars. This is not a fairy tale. This is the story of a believer. And what most people don't know is how close he came to losing everything, not once, but 3 times. Stay with me, because what happened in 2008 will change how you think about failure forever.
Elon Musk was born on June 28, 1971, in Pretoria, South Africa, a country torn apart by apartheid. His childhood was not a happy one. His parents divorced when he was 9. But here is what nobody talks about. While other kids were outside playing, a young Musk was locked in his room, reading, not comics, not magazines, encyclopedias. He read the entire Britannica encyclopedia by age 9. At 12, he taught himself how to code, built a video game called Blastar, and sold it for $500. Think about that, 12 years old, $500. That was just the beginning. At 17, Musk left South Africa, partly to escape mandatory military service and partly because he believed North America was where the future would be built. He moved to Canada with nothing but a backpack and a distant relative's address. That relative wasn't even home. He slept on the floor. He worked on a farm. He cleaned boilers at a lumber mill. The most dangerous job on site, because it paid $18 an hour. And still, he never stopped thinking about what he wanted to build. In 1995, Musk was accepted into Stanford University's PhD program in energy physics. He lasted 2 days, and then he dropped out because he had an idea. The internet was just beginning, and he could see what most people couldn't, that the world was about to change forever. He and his brother Kimball started a company called Zip2. They lived in the office. They ate at cheap diners and worked 20-hour days. In 1999, Compaq acquired Zip2 for $307 million. His share was $22 million. Most people would have stopped there, bought a house, retired, taken a breath, but he immediately put almost all of it into his next idea. That idea was X.com, an online bank. It would eventually become PayPal. In 2002, eBay acquired PayPal for $1.5 billion. Musk's share, $180 million. He was 31 years old, and instead of enjoying his fortune, he did something that shocked even his closest friends. He split his fortune 3 ways. $100 million into SpaceX, a private rocket company. $70 million into Tesla, an electric car startup. $10 million into Solar City. Everyone called him insane. Rockets were for governments. Electric cars had failed before. Who was this tech guy to challenge NASA and the entire auto industry? And for 6 years, it looked like they were right. By 2008, SpaceX had launched 3 rockets. All 3 had exploded. Tesla was burning through money. The first Roadster was delayed. Investors were pulling out. The global financial crisis hit. People stopped buying expensive cars. Production halted. He was personally broke. He had poured everything he had into these companies. He was borrowing money from friends just to pay his rent. In an interview years later, he described that year saying, and I'm paraphrasing, that he could barely even get out of bed. That 2008 was the year he came closest to a complete mental breakdown. He had a choice: inject more money into SpaceX for one final launch, or let it die. He chose to try one more time. On September 28, 2008, with no money left, no margin for error, SpaceX launched Falcon 1. It reached orbit. That launch saved the company. NASA signed a $1.6 billion contract with SpaceX weeks later. Tesla secured emergency funding on Christmas Eve, 2008, hours before it would have gone bankrupt. Today, SpaceX is valued at over $2 trillion. Tesla transformed the entire auto industry. Musk became the richest person in human history. But here is the lesson that nobody tells you. Success didn't happen because he was lucky. It didn't happen because he was born rich. It happened because when the entire world told him to quit, when he had no money, no success, and no reason to believe, he tried one more time. The difference between people who change the world and people who don't is rarely talent. It's almost always persistence. You might be at your own 2008 right now. You might feel like everything is falling apart, like nothing is working. Just remember, the launch that saved everything almost didn't happen. If you found value in this story, subscribe. Because every week, we bring you the real stories behind the world's most extraordinary rises from nothing. The next story might be exactly what you need to hear.